Hey yo, what's up everybody? Why is my face on screen? YouTube is a perfect and holy paragon of a media platform. Anyways, today we're talking about the lore behind Qingxiao and why she just might be one of the most serious yet comedic characters at the same time. Now, to understand why this character is so damn hilarious, we first have to delve into her backstory and who she is. Otherwise, it just won't make sense, or at the very least, it'll just be significantly less funny. So without further ado, let's get it. So for those who don't know, Qingxiao holds the title of Paragon in the Shuangfang military. She is the highest ranking official among the Shuangfang wardens. At the same time, she's this sort of transcendent, legendary, aloof figure who's an immortal who's guarded the region for hundreds of years. She has so much inner peace that animals await her break in slumber, so she can play them songs and provide them solace. And while she's seemingly a sage of peace, she's also a master of the blade. Her knowledge of swords and sword work is so vast, she can read the spirits of swords and immediately tell their origin. Her skills so adept that she can command a blade beneath her feet as a mode of transportation. And check this out, legend of the immortal who watches over Shuangfeng has spread far and wide. And every year, pilgrims from all over come to Shuangfeng, hoping to receive but a glimpse of her form. However, most are deterred by the fog and the terrain of even the eastern peaks. Few ever reach the nameless peak that Qingxiao calls home. She's said to rarely show herself, and the times she chooses to, she somehow sends her voice to sniff out the intentions of those seeking her guidance. And based on those intentions, she'll decide whether to appear or not. Now, if people genuinely need help, she'll have no problem showing up. However, if the request is to seek the secret to immortality or to gain the technique to ascend to the heavens, she'll simply toss them a booklet said to contain the key of it all. And it's not until they descend the mountain that they discover what's really inside this booklet. When they open it, all this booklet contains is remedial health tips like go to bed early, don't stay up too late, and exercise moderately. Now, this health booklet was originally developed by Shuangfeng's Washu Academy, and Qingxiao just has a whole box of these, just to give away to people that she finds personally annoying. Which I find hilarious. And it's kind of tragic too when you think about it. Like, imagine this. You're traveling all the way from Raguna through Renacita's restrictive wave-worn fog. You travel west, enduring the freezing temperatures of Mount Firmament, ferry to the TD-infested lands of Jinzhou, trek all the way to the dreaming cavern that leads to Shuangfeng. You somehow navigate the physics-defying terrain, scale to the top of an obscure, nameless mountain, only to be given a booklet that tells you to brush your teeth before bed. And you leave the mountain like, what's wrong with you? I'm trying to prevent the next dark tide. What are you doing? Yo, son, after that, I'd have to go back up there. I'd have to go back up there. Yo, me and Qingxiao, we'd have to fight at that point. I die, but I can't disrespect myself by not addressing the fact that you just gave me a booklet telling me to stretch before jogging. Son, you just gave me a booklet that told me to floss after meals. You just gave me a booklet that told me to eat fresh fruits and vegetables. I didn't travel all this way, and you gave me a booklet that told me to sit down when I'm tired? Bruh, ain't no way. Ain't no way. I'd crash out. I'd crash the F out. So as discussed earlier, Qingxiao is the leader of the Shuangfang military, so she's definitely a person of status. But further elevating this is the fact that sometimes the people of Shuangfeng will just see Qingxiao descend from the clouds on a flying sword like a deity come to Solaris, only to ask them, hey, where the supermarket at? Which I also find hilarious. Like, can you imagine a literal goddess descending from the sky, encapsulated in a heavenly glow, flying on a sword? And it almost feels like her arrival is accompanied by the tranquil sound of a pleasant gujing. All of that, and she just asks, hey yo, Where Main Street at? True story, this actually reminds me of the time that I gave rock and roll legend Little Richard directions. But that's neither here nor there. Nonetheless, the point is, Qingxiao is one of the most unintentionally hilarious characters in the game. And so her reason for asking for directions is this. Despite having a transcendent level of inner peace and being a war general, she's just really bad at directions. And that's because she spends a lot of time flying through the air. And I guess things look different from up there, so she's really unable to apply that same perspective when she's on the ground. And this is the reason why she almost always carries with her a map and a compass to find her way. Now, despite her sense of direction being more sound in the air, that doesn't mean it's perfect. Apparently, long ago, she lost her sense of direction on the way to Qingxiao, and as a result, she ended up in Shuangfeng. So good luck to whatever catastrophe that was happening in Qingxiao. Like, y'all just gotta figure it out, because now she's here. It's possible if it wasn't for this mistake that she'd never be in Shuangfeng today. And while we're still here, there's some other interesting lore about her. Qingxiao grew her majestic blue horns about 100 years ago. They came with her forte. And changes like this aren't really uncommon when we talk about a character's resonance awakening. However, her lore says that it's been hundreds of years, plural, since she's traveled the lands of Huanglong. And since we know that the average human lifespan isn't that long, it subtly implies that some of her power existed before her forte awakening, which is really interesting because I can't think of many other characters that match this level of power progression, at least not without a second awakening, which that could be her experience, but either way, it's definitely anomalous when it comes down to comparing it to the average resonator. And one last interesting thing about Qingxiao, and that is one of her cherished items is a publication from the Pioneer Association, and it's called Records of Huanglong's Tacit Discords. It catalogs several hundred types of tacit discords all across Huanglong. It includes their behavior, what they're capable of, and how to deal with them. And it said that few travelers or explorers arrive in Huanglong without one of these on their person. I suppose this gives us a little bit of lore on how people travel in Solaris 3, which is really interesting as well. But the most interesting part is that Qingxiao carries this on her person, considering that she is the person who actually wrote this publication. She spent an entire century compiling this information. Anyways, those are some interesting facts about Qingxiao. Let me know which of these you found most interesting in the comments down below. By the way, for those who are waiting on the recap for Chapter 4, Acts 1, 2, and the Segway quest, all of that is coming. It's taking a little bit of time to put together. It was a really big quest, and I had a lot of other things going on, but no worries, that is in the works. It's on the way. It'll be coming out a little bit later than I'd like it to, but perhaps this is actually not a bad thing. It might actually be the best timing considering that my algorithmic blessing might be concluded by that time period. But anyways, folks, that is all I have for you guys today, and until next time, waves.